Hey, everybody. Hey.
Hey, yo.
How's everybody doing today?
Yeah, decent enough.
Ready for adventure.
Are we ready to head on out into this adventure, as he puts it?
I want to kill.
Yeah.
I want to kill. I like murder.
For real.
For real. When the party last left off, they had made a decent ways journey towards Shripomn Dister. Hold on. Give me the run back. Sorry, you're up. Give me the run back. Shripomn Dister.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, so I see this classic way to avoid responsibility. And as they had been heading along some of these fairly temperate lands, mostly soft rolling grasslands and a little bit of wooded forest, but none too particularly thick, you eventually stumble upon, seeing off in the distance, an area that is much heavier forested, not just with forest, but with actively jungle and vines sprouting out from it and other such abnormalities. The party has made a little bit of camp and has time to look over it as they anticipate their options.
All right.
This is where you take up.
Yeah.
So, who was getting the firewood again?
That's a mighty fine question. Who is getting the firewood?
Oh, I got it yesterday, so.
I will, Rifter, if you want, I will race you to see who can get better firewood.
I already got it. And he just produces firewood.
I already got
it.
Darius is kind of just looking into the jungle, kind of almost spaced out of the conversation.
You alright?
I'm alright. I'm just not used to this being so close to home. Concerning.
I'm sure we'll figure out what's going on and it'll be all jiffy.
Hopefully. Hopefully we can find out. Dude. Thing we're not supposed to know.
Hopefully. Rifter Zeus, the persuasive type, not persuasive, perceptive types. He does stumble over that in character. Cause can you keep eyes out for snakes of any kind, even if it's just a normal snake?
Aye, Captain.
Of course.
We use them as a means of preliminary, I guess, scouting of the surrounding areas. It's a lot easier to have an animal do it.
Fair enough. Would, I mean, like, not Yuan-Ti snakes, would, have they all gone missing? Or would you presume that they've all left, or just the Yuan-Ti?
It's almost certainly only the Yuan-Ti. Maybe some familiar snakes, but those don't tend to stray far from their owners.
Gotcha. Well, we'll certainly keep our eyes peeled.
It's just, maybe I can get a better idea of what's happening if I speak to one, and in the worst case scenario, if somebody's watching us, we can avoid that knowledge getting transmitted to something.
Seems reasonable enough.
If we see a temple in there, we're avoiding it, okay?
Absolutely.
I'm already hesitant enough to go back home. I'm not going to wander into a temple that I don't know anything about. We're still on the lookout for shrines, but you'll know the difference between a shrine and a temple.
Right. I mean, if it's anything like back home in the Empire, a shrine would just be a small spot on the side of the road to make a dedication.
We do have some along the way. In some places there are small building type shrines that can hold offerings or different things in them, and just I'm being irrationally. I'm just being irrational.
No,
Sorry.
when it comes to what we're dealing with here, I don't think you're being irrational.
Well, I guess, how do we want to separate out watches for tonight?
I'll take first watch.
I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep much, so I'll go to sleep whenever I can.
Alright. We have enough people to take watch, even without you taking a shift, so do what you can.
He nods.
I have pretty good eyesight, so I would be happy taking up a watch. I guess
Alright.
second.
Yeah, I don't really care.
This is kind of coming out of the blue, Lorik, and we don't have to talk about it now if you don't want, but I know a lot about almost everyone here's relationship with that they had with their parents. What was yours?
Back home, it's. I did my first few years of growing up in this small village for retirees named Arush Tarnos. From what I can remember, my parents, they were decent enough people. I can't say I didn't enjoy my time there as just a young hatchling, but when it was discovered that I had magical ability, I was sent to Gerard Martivir for early training.
What's it like? Having parents.
I don't remember all that well, but I can say that at the very least, I didn't. I felt secure, if nothing else. I guess that's the one thing I was able to identify back then was. And I guess I felt a bit less secure when training started, since suddenly I was being judged on the merits of my magics and my growing martial ability, but it wasn't all bad. In some ways, I almost feel as though Executor Relay is just as much apparent to me as my parents back home, if not more.
I want to preface that I don't know what's going to happen when I get home, and I don't even know if either of my parents are still alive. And I don't want them to use anything against you, because they will. And I don't want anyone that I might have known in the past to use anything that I have against you. So I don't know why I'm saying these things or asking these things right now.
It's hard.
Rifter, this is out of pocket. I know it is for sure, but do you resent your father?
In a way, I mean, I can't say I have much of an opinion on him that's positive. When he was there, it was fine, but I was a child. As many children do, I mindlessly loved my father. It's not that I really knew the man, more so he was there. But I can't say that in my heart of hearts there is not a burning resentment for what he put my mother through. Less for me, more for her, if you understand.
I'm conflicted right now on how I should feel towards the family, if I can even call it that I had here. Any of the relationships, any of the... And he pauses, like, for a long time before coming to the word people here. I'm not sure if I can hate them, or if I don't, or if I do. In the same way that I don't know if I can hate the rain for falling, I don't know if it's in the cards for them not to be cruel. And it's not as though I actually have the feelings of hatred or angst or rage at what they had done, because they had done so in a time where I couldn't feel so. And all I have left is this lingering expectation that I should feel in some way. Hence why I'm asking you.
If I may interject, if there's one thing that I have learned about family, and I think it comes up in all of us here, everyone is just people, and they will be disappointing and not quite right, and you don't really get to choose them more often than not. But you also don't have to completely be beholden to them. If they are truly a family worth caring for, what I have found is that they will care for you. It's a two-way street.
I just don't know if I can even call them people. What I am, what we are, is so twisted, and I'm such a poor example of what we are now.
Maybe they are too, since Nidhogg was sealed away. If it
It's
still
the-
is sealed away, even.
That's not how it... I'm worried I've given you the wrong impression of what we are. I am... What I am because of Nidhogg. Our people were changed fundamentally. We didn't have the capacity, but as a result of being the chosen of him, her, it, Nidhogg, I was changed again. I don't know how that extended to other Yuan-Ti, who else were chosen, but what I know is that vast majority of the people there, and I use people very liberally, don't have any ethics, moral drive, anything, it is probably the closest you can get to absolute evil. That was what Seth intended after all.
Might have miscalculated my earlier statement in that case. But, I don't know. Do you have hope that there might be a possibility of change? I mean, say
I
we.
don't know. Because if they do change, then I can't give them the same deference I give this expectation that they will be evil. And I've always wanted them to just be gone, for my people to not exist because we are absolute evil. But if we are changing, if we are different, I'm not sure what I want anymore. So part of me wishes they're still evil. Part of me wishes that they're changing with me in the times. Part of me wishes it'd all just be over.
Well,
I must say, it is always so shocking to hear you speak of your kind in this way. You, I think more than anyone else I have met, have been very patient to the, how we say, malfunctions of mortals. And yet, when proposed with the concept that perhaps your own people are changing, your quest for bloodshed and death, it somehow is something you wish. I think you should take this opportunity to show them the better ways. You, more than any of their kind, probably have more experience with the outside world, being a normal person. You could probably help do loads to lead them the way.
Just worry. You can't teach an ant to be anything more than a slave to its queen. It's just not in the cards. It's not possible. At least not with what I am right now. And where this leads me to is, when I do ascend, I'll be forced with the dilemma of what I do with my people.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
I suppose. But
And
I'm worried that no matter what decision I'll make, it'll be the wrong one.
imagine you believing you would make a wrong decision.
frankly, that's
It's not-
half the reason why I intend to not pursue godhood.
I suppose, but at the same time, no offense, I don't think you're in quite the same position with your people.
I know, but the sentiment remains.
I understand.
Also, I mean, look at the things we are looking to achieve on the rest of our journey. The things we have lined up. I would say impossibility is pretty par for the course.
I guess you're right. I don't know if I should change them or if I should just end it.
Mm.
Be done with it. Send them back.
There may not be a right choice, Darius. There may not be a wrong choice. We don't know yet. And speculating about it while we don't know anything won't bring you anything except sleepless nights.
It's been hard for me to sleep in general since, well, as long as I can remember, so I'm not too worried about that.
Just don't leave yourself too long.
Rifter, stop playing with the firewood.
I'm sorry.
It's a serious moment.
It's fine, it helps lighten the mood.
That's true.
Alright. While you get to sleep, I'll take watch.
Alrighty. Wake me up whenever you need.
Alright. And Darius, you're welcome to sit up with me as long as you want.
He just nods and continues looking out towards the jungle.
It's fairly contained jungle. It's not sprawling. It's not breaching. It's not crawling across the horizon. It is a flip of a jungle in an otherwise simple savanna. And as the sun starts to set and fade, its contour is some of the last bits you see before you see it not at all.
At some point in the night, Darius does end up dozing off, but it's not like he's explicitly trying to stay awake.
None.
All right.
Hey, Rifter,
Yeah.
would you mind giving me a perception check?
Okay, sure.
You're good at those, right?
I'm certainly good at those. I would never scuff a perception check. Right?
Right.
I would never scuff a perception check.
Hey.
As you're taking watch, eventually, at one point of it, you see a little glint of moonlight off in the distance reflecting off of something that probably shouldn't be there.
See.
It's a very clear reflection, much like steel or water, where it creates a glimmer through it. The moon sort of shuffles through it and reflects off into where you're at. It's very low to the ground. It's not at like hand height or anything. It's at about foot height.
Oh, it's
only-
that snake height.
Only very barely above the ground. Maybe 3 inches, 4 inches off the ground.
I see. I would like to move in closer to see what this creature is.
Would you mind making me a stealth real quick?
Not at all. I would never scuff a stealth check.
You see as there is a small creature, mostly white with a little bit of blue. Its 4 legs very small. A lot of that blue seems to be made out of water as it is scrounging around parts nearby the camp, apparently looking for food.
I see.
It's a small, perhaps mouse, perhaps cat, water spirit.
Okay. Can I do an insight check on it to see how malicious this thing comes across?
It does not come across malicious.
Okay, so it seems on the level.
It
Alright.
seems like it would be timid with how gently and quietly it's moving. But that is about it.
Okay. In that case, Rifter's gonna go ahead and approach. And from the shadows, he's going to ask it, Hail, spirit, what brings you around this time of night?
Pretty much as soon as you make a noise, it disappears and there's just a little splash of water as it crashes onto the ground nearby. As like the area where it once was, now is just motionless, lifeless water that falls upon to the ground.
Piss. Rifter's like, oh, shouldn't have done that, I guess. I guess I inspect the water.
There's a slight bit of it that leans slightly more in one direction.
I guess I'll look in that direction. See if
It's
I can
where
find
the jungle was earlier.
Okay. Okay. I might be misinterpreting this wrong, but this leaves Rifter to believe that the jungle is going to have spirits in it. So he's just gonna go back to his watch and he'll talk about it in the morning, because it doesn't seem that important that everyone needs to not sleep.
probably for the better. Morning arrives.
Do not eat.
Good morning, lads.
Oh,
Morning.
good morning.
Yes. Whew. Good morning.
Able to get to sleep, it seems.
Yes, yes. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. I was fine.
It's good.
You'll need your strength for what's to come, I imagine. But
For what?
speaking of that, last night I saw something rather interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A spirit of the Vale. It wandered over there, and Rifter points in the general direction. And I believe it was a, how you say, water spirit.
Curious.
Indeed. I tried to talk to it, try to get some nice info for the future, but it wasn't really the talking sort.
Understandable.
Maybe it was just afraid of the sight of your face. I don't know. It'd be,
No, I'm too handsome for that.
Oh, certainly. Sorry. Forgot. Well, is
So then-
this something? Oh, sorry. Yes.
No, I was just going to ask what our plan is then.
I
Yeah.
suppose we continue on.
Would we maybe perhaps, do some exercises just before we go out? This whole training idea, we should keep it up, keep it consistent. Just like for an hour or so.
That's an hour that we don't have on the road.
I guess that's fair.
How about
Alright.
you have until I finish making breakfast, and then we get on the road after we eat.
That sounds good. I'll take that. Anyone want to spar? Or maybe just meditate? Anything like that?
Lork immediately sets to making breakfast for the party.
Well, if you're offering to let me beat you up, I'm happy to oblige.
Don't
I
cross
wanna
the
run
border,
back.
I'm Darius.
I've gotten quite good recently, me and Rifter, spending all this time fighting. I think I could take you on.
Don't worry, Lorik, I'm not going to use any magic.
Alright.
Let's see. I also don't want to use my lance because, no offense, it's not whether you're strong enough or not, but if I cut you with it, it's not going to be fun.
Yes. Well, we can maybe take it more in a... Do you know the art of fencing, or...
The what?
Fencing.
I know my way around certain swords, but I don't think I've ever fenced before.
Oh, well, similar concept. Basically a sword fight not to the death, where, points are determined more by, parries and such, rather than actually harming the other person.
I mean, give me a long stick, and I'll go for it.
Sounds good. Zeus is going to try and find
Found.
2 sticks. Awesome. For him, he's going to take with it.
Sorry, Zeus. I double that length. I'm sorry.
Double that. Look, you don't need to compensate, Derek.
No, it's. Listen, I fight in a specific way, in a specific style. I use both ends of a weapon. I can't. This is not long enough.
Oh, fair enough. All right. Well, how about you help me look, and then we can.
All
find
right.
out. All right.
Pound
You find
under
water.
whatever duration of time you choose it to be.
Mhm.
Perhaps just as Lork is finishing breakfast.
Fuck. All right, let's get a quick one in
all right.
now.
Good to go. Okay.
Look, it's probably too hot anyways. Just let us spar a little bit. It'll be fine.
It'll warm up even more if we wait. But fine, one round.
Okay. So, how does this work?
Well, not to break the fourth wall, but I assume the DM will guide us in some way.
Not to break the fifth
What?
wall,
Oh, sorry, the fifth wall, the ceiling.
but I assume that Zeus will be more than competent enough to make it up as he goes along.
Oh, sounds good. All right. So here's what we're going to go with. You know, fight me in whatever skills you find fit, and we will, go to maybe a round of best of 3. I think sounds good. I'll try my darndest, and you will fail, and I think that's how it will work out.
Oh
So,
shoot, I'm not gonna be able to push you. Ah, darn. I like that feature of my lance. He makes a little bad face.
well, one should not become too reliant, maybe.
Sure. All right. So then, do we get somebody to tell us to start, or how far away do we stand from each other? Or
Let's say 4 paces. And Rifter, go ahead and tell us when to start. You keep points. I trust you.
All right, I want a nice, clean fight from the both of you.
Of course.
He's gonna wait until a few paces, and then he's gonna go begin.
All right.
all right. Darius's whole tactic is his main thing of abusing his effective range of like movement. So he keeps space basically at any time he's not actively attacking. He is backing up quite a bit, so that approaching him is not super safe to do. Basically, he's just using Polearm Master.
Zeus is going to attempt to combat these things by teleporting. I guess what should we roll? Should we do some rolls?
I
Or
would
should
say
we
you
just say
should
it
do
goes
an
out?
Arcana versus an attack roll, but improvised on Darius's end. Darius doing like a
Proficient weapon.
yeah, and Zeus doing an Arcana.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Jesus.
Cool.
Well, a non-proficient weapon
Goddamn.
with this random thing, I would just have a fucking
Or like
+2.
Whatever improvised is, right?
Yeah, it's really just a +2 for me, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's unlucky.
The weight's all off.
Zeus went, how do I rig this so I win? All right. Step 1.
Listen, it literally says exactly in Polearm Master that if they enter your area of attack willingly, it's even if you teleport.
Oh no. Okay. Well, that's fair.
So Darius,
It would still definitely
feel like
affect.
the weight on this thing fucking sucks. You try to swing it a little bit and it goes long, and you try to go a big full sweep and you barely get it to move.
He's gonna look at both directions, drop it, pull out his lance. Okay, let's go.
I'm sorry. Were you having trouble controlling something that big?
No, it just sucks.
You picked it.
Yes, I did. Listen, you got lucky. I thought that I would be better with something like that. I'm not.
Rifter, you hear this? All I hear is excuses.
I mean, if you think it's excuses, you're welcome to fight me with this.
Okay. I guess I'll start using my weapon just to make sure I can deflect it properly.
Go for
Yeah.
it. Go for
No
it.
point in getting
Oh
cut.
no, oh no.
This is how we get another injury. This is episode 1 all over again.
Next injury, Zeus loses a head.
So true.
Decapitation is in fact on the wounds table.
So true.
I
So
guess-
Darius once again steps forward with the jab, this time trying to actually function. Oh, that was not supposed to have a bless.
Oh no.
let's-
Sorry, I have auto roll on my damage.
You're
Give me
good.
just a standard attack as a parry, and you can do anything that you could do on a regular attack as well if you so choose.
Got you. Okay. So just normal. Fuck. Oh, wait a minute. I would like to use homing, whatchamacallit,
Homing attack.
homing attack, which
Oh,
is
wait, no,
just
that's the thing from
a
Sonic. What am I thinking
That
of
is
here?
side eye.
side eye. Yeah. But it's the thing is called homing something something
Yes,
something.
you use your side eye, roll it, and add the.
I don't think that's high enough.
I don't think a 19 beats a 28 now.
I don't know.
Fortunately, it doesn't get consumed. That's what I love about the fucking side
Oh,
eye.
it's good.
Hooray!
Is my score high enough relative to his that I can explicitly not like hurt him with it?
You can deal minimum damage with it.
Okay. Minimum damage then is
Minimally.
1. And I assume that
one, not
improved
2?
divine smite is an at-will
Wouldn't
thing,
the
so like I
minimum
could
damage
not...
be like 4 or something?
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, that is minimum damage. I did roll a 1.
No,
Amazing.
LOL!
10 is minimum.
Alright.
so true.
But I have those temporary hit points from
Oh, hell, hold
True.
on, Darius, bring up the exact wording. Is it when you damage or when you hit?
For what?
Anti-heal.
I mean, I don't think there was exact wording on it that we had.
Well, do you think it works if you only remove THP?
We based it on
I will say, taking THP damage does still count as taking damage.
Okay,
The only
okay.
instance of taking damage doesn't count as taking damage is the one thing from Abjuration Wizard.
Gotcha. Do you still
any creature that
do you
takes
still have-
damage cannot regain hit
Got
points.
it.
So it takes the damage.
in standard? Do you make concentration for THP as well if it's only THP?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. That's actually one reason why Abjuration is really good.
Because it doesn't give you THP, it gives you an additional layer of
Mhm.
HP that doesn't count towards like you. It's a different entity, but still.
Exactly.
It's-
Anyway,
It's
continue.
actually
You
consistent.
swag on him a little and deal 10 points of damage.
XD YOLO swag at him.
And immediately as he hits and scratches you or whatever, he's going to drop the lance into the ether again, move up to you and say, all right, and he's going to like pull out like a bandage exactly where he cut him. You're going to want to hold this on here for about 10 minutes for about a minute until this actually starts healing itself. Call me back once about a minute's passed and you can feel it's not actively bleeding anymore.
Okay. I will. Alright, so not fighting. Maybe we just call this at a draw.
Yeah,
Or
you
we
got
find
one
a
round, I
better
got another.
stick.
True, it's a draw.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a draw. Good game, truly. Let it be known, I drew with a soon-to-be god.
Let it be known.
Yeah, you're both very pretty.
Thank you, Rifter.
Thank you, Rifter.
Angie.
All right, breakfast. Sorry for delaying.
No worries.
Looks and smells delicious. Perhaps maybe that's why I lost. I was too distracted by the smells. Nom 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 nom.
Minecraft eating noises.
Very understandable.
All right. So, heading forward, are we planning to cross through the jungle or just avoid it?
Whatever you think works better here.
On one hand, I think it's more likely, especially since it's not there. We can go around it, but I'm just thinking if anything's being scouted, it's that area. If there are going to be snakes anywhere, there will be likely. So we can go around it and head further in, or we can go in, see what's going on, try and gain some information, find scouts. Even if all the UNT have disappeared, the snakes still have their orders. They still have an expectation.
That makes sense.
Sounds like jungle might be the way to go then.
Hi. Hi. I myself am gonna use the bathroom quick. Be right back.
Lorik steps off to the side.
Why,
The
why
rest
he
of the
just
party is
standing
still
there?
here.
So, jungle it is. We'll keep our eyes peeled. Is there anything we should know about the jungle? I guess is Rifters what he scouted. Is that normal here?
It's not. This isn't normally here. It's part of why I'm not instantly saying we should go for it, and only positing the potential.
Got you. Well,
We
Rifters seem
fly
to.
over the jungle.
They can fly?
You can't you? That's.
Can. Not just me.
Oh,
Sounds good.
probably a
Tactical
reasonable.
advantage.
Probably a reasonable way to go through it and avoid the terrain, but on the other hand, we won't be able to interact with anything down there should we need to.
Presenting possibilities. Fly ahead alone myself. While you guys are on the ground.
And I can, if we don't have other ways of communication, I can telepathically link with you. As long as you don't exit a mile, we can still speak.
Sounds like a plan.
Look at us, working like a true team. I mean, I guess you all have been a team, a true team. I'm just joining in.
You'll
Don't
learn
worry.
yourself.
You fit right in. Don't worry.
But I'm
Well, I wouldn't go
glad.
that far yet.
Oh no, he's just as annoying as the rest of you. He fits right in.
I've been perfecting it for a while, Rifter. I don't. It kind of insults me that you'd say that.
Sounds like you need to step up your game. I mean, just saying, rogues can be naturally annoying.
Listen, what is it? What is better, to be born annoying or to achieve annoyance through great effort?
I'm back.
Whatever gets the job done, pal.
So, we travel by ground. Strunhoff travels by flight. We telepathically communicate. That's the plan.
I'm all right
Seems
with
like
that.
it.
Sounds good.
Then off we go.
Off we go.
It's a very pleasant fly, Schoenhoff. As you go up, you eventually size the situation around. It's pretty much just amidst a lot of the other nearby semi-arid, non-temperate area. There's just around a half-mile radius of just lush jungle. A little bit splotchy, not a perfect circle or anything like that, but just a blob of jungle in the midst of it with nothing else anything remotely similar nearby. The canopy is very thick and there's very little to see beneath the tree line.
I do have to roll for how many hours this lasts. So 6 hours for the first burst.
You can be back in as little as half an hour if you would like. Golden back down on the ground.
Well, how long does it take us to get through?
Well, that depends. Are they trying to just walk through the jungle right now? Because as you're flying over it, you pretty clearly have like the entire visual of it. If you want to stay up there, you can.
I'll stay up there until further notice.
Okay.
Or something happens.
Obviously, the rest of the party knows his statement about the small size of it, given that, you know, the link and all that. And as you're going through the jungle, it's very dense. You're having to push your way through a few parts of it, but it's not particularly drastic. It's very gentle, almost serene. There's no spiders, no snakes, no creepy crawlies, barely any little animals. It seems almost a little bit utopic.
Hmm. Is it normally this peaceful, or should we be even more concerned?
Never this peaceful anywhere. Kingdoms, empire, a random island in the middle of the ocean. There's always something. I don't understand.
We've seen a random island in the middle of the ocean, and even that wasn't that peaceful.
Good. Huh.
DC, how loud is it?
That is what?
How noisy is the jungle?
Very soft, just the rustle of wind.
We wouldn't happen to be in some sort of trap, would we?
I don't think so.
I'm getting paranoid.
Listen, Sternhoff said it was only about a mile all the way across, so it shouldn't take us too long if we are heading towards the middle for us to just break through if there's nothing.
Yeah.
So,
I'll continue to try and keep my eyes peeled even more. But yes, I guess we should just continue on.
Is Slork staying with the rest of the gang?
I would assume so, yes, because a flying slime might be too nondescript.
Quite possibly, yeah.
What? No.
It's just a big blue cloud.
Yeah, true.
You know, that's classic.
Just part of the sky.
It's
it's
just
a
some
kingdom.
flying
There are weird
drywall.
things.
He does blend in surprisingly well. As the party gets close to the center, you see a small clearing where there's a large outcropping of stone, and it wells down gently towards the center like a giant bowl, eventually culminating in a small oasis or pool.
Rifter, you said there was some sort of water elemental, right?
Yeah, I was led to believe it was a spirit of some kind. I don't know if there's a difference.
I don't either. Well, I would assume that this is where it came from, considering this is the only source of water we've found.
I reckon that's a good, explanation.
I know you said it seemed frightened or non-hostile, but are you sure that there was no ill intent from it? Why would it have wandered out?
I mean, it just seemed very scared and timid. Seemed like the kind of thing that was more scared of everything else than it was, ready to jump you.
Suppose. Alright, so who's jumping in?
Me first.
Looking around, the pool has absolutely nothing living inside it. It just goes straight through to another part of rock, only about 3 feet deep. On the north side, underneath some of the canopy, there is a small totem with a depression in front of it, on that little outcropping into the lake.
Does the totem look snake-like?
It does not.
Damn.
This is definitely not from my people.
The only thing that is snake-like here are Darius and perhaps some of the vines if you look too closely.
Is this, should we make some sort of... I guess we shouldn't mess with things too much, but there seems to be maybe an offering thing here.
suppose. I don't know what a water spirit would want other than water, but they are water, so.
Maybe more water to make its domain bigger?
Might be good. Maybe anyone just form water?
I like a Shripomn.
You
Yeah.
look up into the sky.
I think just Strunoff, do you want to make a water offering to a water spirit?
When he asks, "Can anybody form water?" Darius kind of looks at the ground for a moment.
You
Hovering, I'm
okay?
still hovering. Struhoff comes down and asks, "What was that?"
Lord, BBQ, you've got a lot of feedback coming through,
Oh,
like a lot of
sorry.
background noise.
How
That's better.
about now? Okay. I literally just muted and unmuted.
Lol.
Damn. Struenhof, we found a bit of a thing here. I was just wondering if we wanted to make some sort of offering to this pond. Actually, this isn't even really a pond, is it?
It's a bit too shallow to be a pond proper, I would say. If anything, it's a wide puddle.
Said that there was nothing living in the pool here.
That's correct. There's not much of anything. It's pure, perfectly see-through water. You see straight to the other side, which is just the recess in the rock that it all sits upon.
Could I determine that it's almost like too crystal clear?
Yeah.
Can I give it
Yeah.
a bit of a closer look then?
It's pretty much pure water. You want to give me an
Yes, the
investigation?
draw tool. Hold on. I'm using the draw tool instead of the mouse. Yeah. Investigation.
He's got bunny ears.
It's perfectly clear water. Suspiciously so.
Quiet. Too quiet.
I'm
Curious.
gonna see what Slork thinks of it.
Darius is gonna step forward and kind of just place his hand on the surface of the water. Just feel it.
Out of character, did Darius ever talk to us about the spirit he encountered at the bathhouse?
Nope.
Lol.
No, it gently bubbles as you put your hand on top of it. It's a very soft foam. It's not like it's burning or anything, but it feels a little bit like it's a very warm water that's barely unpleasant right now.
He removes his hand. Well, I mean, definitely seems like it's reacting to things. Honestly, not sure what we should offer, but
Well,
Hey, Rifter, would you mind giving me a history check real quick?
Sure, I love history checks. They're my favorite checks.
Yo, history!
All right. You
Wow.
remember my description of as you saw the creature earlier that it looked like it was foraging for food.
Oh. Okay, base. Alright. I'm just gonna go ahead and say. Yeah, from what I remember, it seemed like it was foraging for food. I mean, the spirits eating is beyond me, but, I mean, maybe?
well, a lot of offerings made, even to the more major gods, are often some manner of foodstuffs. Come to think of it, that might actually be part of my people's tradition for Vignarkiar.
Oh, do we
Strange
have
how
any food
context
we can
changes
offer?
everything.
Do we have any food then we can offer?
I should have some left over for breakfast. Give me a moment. Lork fumbles around and finds some leftovers.
Does he then offer it, or what's he doing with the
Oh,
olive oil?
he figured. Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna offer it after realizing that nobody else is gonna. Yeah. So Lork is gonna slide on over and offer the food.
So true.
Should give it a wide berth in case it ends up coming back.
Right. Right.
Do we have any? Do we know what it might like to eat? Would it even like to eat food that we eat?
I didn't even know the spirits ate in the first place, Zeus.
Fair. Do we have
Said
any?
it was a water spirit, right?
Described as cat/mouse-like, leaning a little bit more towards cat.
Maybe fish?
Fish.
Do we have fish?
Roll me a flat d20.
Well, given that Dugon is literally a port town,
Right, I'm
There-
giving it like an 80%. Yep, you do. You have some fish.
Let's try this then. I place it in the offering bowl.
After about a minute, maybe 2 minutes of waiting off on the side, continuing to discuss amongst yourself.
Among
Zeus, nice, good one. Total fishes you a little bit as he starts to see the glints of a creature starting to poke its head out from the far side of the pool.
I think there's something.
Don't look at it. Don't give it any sudden moves. Just pretend like we're still talking. Still distracted.
Fair. Should we step further away from it to give it more berth, or just not move?
If we move, we indicate that we know it's there. Just
Fair.
It moves to the bowl, licks it a little bit, and then starts eating some of it. It is enjoying the fish.
fish.
Would it make sense that this is the only one here?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about spirits or how they stay with each other.
Nor.
I will say this is the first thing we've really seen in this jungle. Would it be the reason that there's nothing else in this jungle?
Maybe that's. But it was so afraid of us. I don't.
Maybe it's like one of those things, it lures you in, and then there's a giant, scary monster mouth hiding somewhere to just devour you.
The jungle wasn't even here a while ago, so
And
I'm
if
not.
the case, offering a monster food would surely pacify it to some extent.
That's true. Did you say that? Sorry,
No, you first.
Zeus is just going to be like, did you say the jungle wasn't here before?
No, it wasn't.
Is it possible the whole jungle is a giant monster?
I mean, I cannot tell you it is not possible. I can call you stupid, though.
Well, you do that normally, though. That would have no effect.
Listen, a super
Yeah,
effective
there,
move
there it is.
used dozens of times is still a super effective move.
Fair enough.
It finishes eating the fish, does a big stretch, you know, like cats do. Moves over to a area where there's a little bit of light shining through onto one of the rocks where it's a little bit warm. Does a little spin around, pads it down, the rock slightly deforms nearby. It looks over to like where each of you are with a little bit of glistening eyes as the sun reflects through it, and it curls up into a little ball and sits in that little divot. The nearby water shifts and changes into a perfect deep blue.
Curious.
You know, it's a bit ironic. The last key things we saw were killed by water. And now...
I don't know if I can ever see that as cute. It's just, it was... Those things can do ridiculous.
It's... They stop being cute when you see them explode the first few times.
Perhaps then this water spirit is the natural predator of the whatever creature that it was.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shinhoff. Give me
Yeah.
a perception real quick as you, or actually just up that d20 as you approach the side of it. Yeah, that's pretty good. As you get to the edge and you look straight down, you're not, I won't put the words there for you because obviously you're still there to choose your own emotions, but it's a little bit of an inspiring sight as the water now goes drastically deeper than it had before. Instead of being a shallow 2 feet or so of depth, it now goes unpeerably far down. It's a chasm straight through the earth. It's filled with all kinds of matters of wonderful aquatic spirity life, from spectral turtles to spinning little fishes, including a new one that's just recently been added that crawls out from the nearby wall near where the offering table was, which is the same breed of fish that was given up as an offering. There's a myriad of colors, from bright oranges to a few that are like green and pinks to ones that have wonderful little yellow striations zipping through them, to whole schools of fish, and just a very gentle, serene little pit into almost a pocket ocean.
Guys,
Yeah.
might want to take a look at this.
Oh,
Darius turns.
That's- that's quite the change.
What's going on?
I
It
don't
looks
know.
like whatever we did had a sort of dispelling effect to some illusion.
Oh, what is it then?
I'm not sure.
You see as one of the water cats starts swimming through it up to where you guys are. It moves over and wraps around Rifter's foot and lays down. It's cold and wet.
Imagine.
Rifter tries to remove it from his foot the best that he can.
It moves over to Darius for just a moment and then moves on to Zeus.
I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy this.
You wouldn't, would you?
I would not.
Well.
There are a lot of these things, it would seem.
Apparently.
It's rubbing up against Yuzus and purring. It sounds like a very small rainstorm as it does.
Oh no! Zeus is going. It wants to try and figure out if this thing is trying to kill him.
That is for you as a player to decide, using your own dumbassery, if you're willing to stretch logic to such an extent that that would be a reasonable course of action.
Zeus is like, I don't trust this thing. If I attack it, everyone's gonna get mad. So I'll sit still.
Do any of you know how intelligent spirits are?
How
I'm
is Lork
not
handling
person.
this?
Enough. What language does slimes speak? Do they speak a language?
Speaking of, Slork and the cat nearby start bubbling at each other.
Ooh.
After a few seconds, Slork does what's almost a little dance as his ears kind of swing back and forth over his head as he continues to bubble with his mouth. Just go, bop, 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 bop.
Welcome to my ASMR experience.
What's going on there, Sternhoff?
I don't know. Let me try and ask him. Duh.
It's a very simple friends make Slork happy, and he curls Slork, pulls up a little bit, and the cat sleeps on top of Slork as the membrane of him kind of keeps him soft as a big pillow.
Oh.
I think they're just enjoying each other's company.
Well. It's nice to see something peaceful in this area.
Hi.
Do you think there's any? Sorry, you go.
Nothing. It's just that this close to home, you start seeing less things in general. Things have tend to learn to avoid this area. Unless it's a scavenger of some kind.
Okay.
Do you think there's anything of value down there?
I can't imagine why there would be.
Does look like it goes pretty deep.
I mean, Lorik seems to have made fast friends. If you'd like, you could send him down there, but I don't know if they'd appreciate us in there.
For that matter, I doubt any of us could actually hold our breath long enough to find anything down there.
I'll ask Slorik if he can go down there with the permission of his new friend.
They bop to each other a few times, and he says, "Yeah, we all are." Or I guess more specifically, yeah, everyone. And he starts to slide into the water.
Do you know how to... I know there are spells that can let you breathe underwater. Do you know any of them, Sternhoff?
Slork is floating and spinning on top of the water.
Inquire about needing to breathe.
Slork doesn't know.
Oh,
We're spinning
fun.
on the water in player chat.
To answer your question, Darius, I personally do not know. But
Seems like Sloric is in Spain without the A.
Nice water.
Well, I mean, we're about to go into hell, so figure why not have some relaxation,
Fair enough.
I guess if you will, all right with that. Perhaps, who knows? Maybe this will help strengthen us or something.
Darius will disrobe and get in.
Zeus will start kind of folding up his clothes and taking it off.
His fit is not going to get wet. It's already drippy enough.
So Stunhoff's in.
Damn
What
it.
about Lork and Rifter?
What about?
Or do you want to follow suit?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit too.
As everyone
Suit.
gets in, the water, much in contrast to earlier, feels perfect, whatever that perfect is. So for somebody like Darius, it's a little bit warmer. For somebody like Zeus, it's probably just a touch cold, like brisk but nice. And like you're able to dive for a little bit. You don't feel the need to breathe, but obviously a quick little attempt to do so pretty quickly leads to quack, quack, quack.
Well,
Quack, quack.
But it's it's exceptionally relaxing and a moment of peace. If anybody still has any active wounds or curses on them, you can go ahead and give me a d20 roll for each one.
I forget. Do I
So,
have any?
Stroonhoff, would you mind rolling me a d20?
all right. I've been wounded a few times from almost dying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Roll me one
little-
for the big one that I have in mind, and then you can roll a few others
Wait
later.
a minute. Darius still is affected by his blindness, right? Like naturally. It's just it's being circumvented with magic
That is
from another
correct.
source, right? Okay.
Stroonhoff, your hearing remains just as sharp, and the eye patch sort of unmolds itself from the face a little bit.
Back to like a physical form.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, I can sell it now.
Darius, for the first time in a long time, about a year and a half probably, you don't just see, you see properly. You start to see right. You like look up, you're able to see the gleaming light like burst through the canopy and the sky above it with its blues and its whites swirling overhead. You're able to look around, and rather than just seeing what people are, you get to see them by how they look, and it's different.
So as he gets into the water, he's like the classic relaxed, like eyes closed as he's sort of melding into the water, and he opens his eyes and he just like looks at everything all of a sudden. Like his eyes are just going everywhere. Well, I'll be damned.
everything all right?
And he looks at you, Lorik, and he just like stares directly into your eyes. Wow. I didn't realize how beautiful your eyes were.
Thank you. What happened?
I can see, not in the way that I saw previously, or in the way that I see now, or I can see. When it was with Dendar, it was different. Everything was the grayscale that I told you about. Everything was visible, but not necessarily in. And then with Lathander, it was more I saw that things were there in their essence and their form, but not things, and now I can just see you. I don't know why. It might be the pool, it might be something else, but I can see all of you now. as he's sort of looking around.
I'm happy for you. I really am.
I always wondered what you guys actually looked like, not through whatever weird filter I had. Oh, Zeus! I expected you to look better. As he sort of like averts his eyes.
Ah ha ha, very funny.
I suppose you've seen me through those eyes longer than you've seen me through your eyes, so...
I don't think I've ever seen you through my eyes.
There was some time at the start before you were injured.
No, because even then, as long as I've been lucid at least, my eyesight has been enhanced by Dendar. It's been different.
Alright then.
Boys, it's a miracle. I got feathers under me arms again.
Oh,
Well then.
Seems like this was a good place to stop.
Yeah.
I imagine Lork's just kind of floating on the surface of it, almost like an alligator or something like that.
Oh,
Speaking
here
of
I
Lork,
was-
would you mind making me one big roll?
I would actually prefer not to.
Okay, good. Like that is a big part of it.
here I was hoping I could be a blind god, a true incarnation of justice.
I mean, we can help you out with that. You know, a few more sparring matches.
A few more sparring matches and you'll lose an arm.
I mean, take it from me. It didn't go well that one time, but I've gotten used to it.
I'm sorry. Maybe if it helped
No.
me with my eyes, it can help you with your.
It's fine.
I just don't.
And you can see that Lork is in the pool, and it's not doing anything.
Okay.
Rip off.
Parentheses, choose to fail.
I
Yeah.
want my fish back.
Well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I was maybe hoping you could heal one of the bigger regrets of my time here, but regardless.
I don't really see it as a regret, personally. It's a reminder of the early days.
Yes, so. Man, we had so many people back then. Remember with the Coldbound floor, it was almost crowded. Was glad to get towards the back, a space of my own I could close out. Do you remember that fight? Where, you all
Vaguely.
were dealing with a certain front line of them, and I cast a darkness spell in the back and held off the back line. It was really just an excuse to get away from a bunch of people.
I think I hung back a little bit at least because I still didn't quite trust you.
No, you shouldn't have. I didn't trust anyone there either.
Slork
Damn,
is
my hair was
asleep,
long.
his eyes closed as he drifts on the surface of the water with a sleeping water cat spirit on top of him. Very content using him as a pillow on this little raft.
So true.
I wish we could just stay here. Wish we didn't have to deal with all of the changing and the world and the gods, and all of it.
Perhaps one day we may come back.
Maybe.
I don't know. This might be my last time here. I don't know if gods are able to make a physical form or have an avatar of some sort that I can impart my consciousness through when it happens, but I think this would be a nice place to stay for any time that I can.
Aye.
I think Countess would like it here. I'd have
May
to do
have.
some convincing of him not to take any of them or be odd, but I feel like it would do him a world of good.
Aye. And my offer still stands, by the way.
I know it does, Lorik.
I know,
And my decline still stands as well.
of course.
And he's going to sit back and relax until something else happens or we're ready to go.
Engage gator mode.
True. He has now become a water moccasin.
In the absence of player action, probably about half the day goes by, it gets to around half day, such that probably about 4 hours have passed. And it's very relaxing. But the party may still choose to have inter-party relations during that time.
Party relations. Zeus is going to take a moment, kind of like floating on his back, to try and think back to that one feeling he had had, that kind of spark that he had felt when they were in with Cassandra after everything. He's going to try and like close his eyes and bring his mind back to that moment.
It's very tranquil if you're ever going to have a time to be able to do that. Go ahead and roll me too.
2 d20s.
Yep.
I think. Oh, 2d20.
Basically just advantage.
I thought that was an as well, not a 2.
Oh. Oh no. Well, hell.
All the best roads to travel are ones that are hard.
True. So I just kind of like try to concentrate and it just nothing happens.
Fingers, thumbs pop up, pointer fingers touching each other, looking down. Hey, Spoonhoff. I threw up.
Something about it's almost antithetical to the situation, as earlier you had some of that rage, some of that passion, some of that drive, and while a lot of it still is here, the loss of your brother is not something that this puddle takes away. The serenity of the situation and the oneness with yourself is not something that really helps push that emotion and that sense of change. Instead, it's more a recollection of some of the times that you had with your brother and some of the, from time to time, between moving towns or having to fend on your own, there were a lot of the times that you've since forgotten about. Less of running from the guards or having to pack up and leave things in a hurry, and instead just some of the times of being happy at an inn together or going out and enjoying a particular spot in the countryside. A lot of the nice family memories that you've forgotten about in a lot of your worries and stresses of trying to keep him safe.
Zeus is going to kind of open his eyes in a kind of a slightly melancholic state, and just going to look up into the sky and just kind of mumble to himself. We're going to get you back. You know, this place, this is almost too serene. This is, fortunately, I think for my purposes.
It's rather jarring how serene it is here compared to how it normally is around here.
Hi. It's better than that one place we went to.
Aye,
You know, the island.
indeed. If only the island was so great. When we get to town, I'll try and keep us in good moods. I'll try and avoid the corpse pits and the whatnot.
Alright. Speaking of, I think I'm going to get dressed again.
I guess we should be heading home too. newer and
Indeed.
more stressful things.
Before we leave, I'm going to ask Sloric if his friend says okay to take a vial of water.
Give me just a second. Essentially, the communique that he gives is one where it's a trade is good, but not like a, oh yes, surely we can make something out, but just sure, just make sure you leave something else.
Have you ever heard of a bit of stock in a company?
Here I thought for a moment you were talking about soup stocks.
No, we leave them a little bit. We tell them, hey, Darius got this business.
I don't think the water spirits are interested in mercantilism.
The cat on top of Slork stretches, putting two of its paws out, which kind of bonk into one of Slork's eyes. He winces for a moment, where it's like a oh, but more like a surprised wince than like a pain wince, and then he grows to accept it with just two of the little paws in one of his eyes.
Do we have another?
That's just
fish?
cat ownership.
Cat moment.
Do we have another fish we can leave as an offering?
Probably.
You do.
I will leave another fish and assume that is enough to take a vial.
As you do so, it remains in the vial. It does
Wonderful.
not bubble off.
Wonderful.
As Rifter exits out of the water, you see him like flurry his feathers, and as he does, they just puff out, and he looks incredibly round in this very moment.
Brown burb.
He's chick. He's a chick.
Some of the other cats nearby that are not the one on top of Schoenhof, in particular the one to the north, which was sitting out in the sun, they start to look a little bit dry. So they get up, they shake a little bit in a similar situation to how a dog might shake. And in doing so, all of the dryness flies off of them and they poof back up with water.
What?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Well, Darius is going to hop out and wipe himself off.
I'm glad you got your eyesight back. I really am.
Well, I won't be able to enjoy it for very long, but nonetheless, I'm grateful that I have it.
That just makes the time that you do have with it all the more important.
One of them weaves through Zeus's feet, grabs the fish, and jumps into the water.
The fish swims away, prepared to make its spawn.
New infestation unlocked. Native invasive
Infestation?
species.
This is just husbandry, animal husbandry.
So true.
We're, instead, give a water spirit a fish, they eat for a day. Teach a water spirit how to farm fish, they eat for eternity.
We truly did a great thing today, boys.
So true.
Rifter, is this how you normally look, and just your feathers don't normally grow this big?
This is not how I normally look. This is just how water does to our kind.
Wow, man, you must have had a lot of scars. You're so much more, well, you're glowing, if I am to say it in a way.
Rifter looks at him, and for the briefest moment, you think Rifter's going to strike you.
So, given Rifter's history, I would be more surprised if he didn't have scars.
Look, Look, the main ones we got those back. Okay, the other ones are less noticeable, but underneath the, I mean, come on, right here, and he like raises his armpit. You see like much newer, much more black feathers. The other ones have a bit more of a tint to them due to age, but these are definitely new. I mean, just look, ain't that just beautiful?
Darius is staring a bit at Rifter for a little bit after the conversation kind of dies off of that for a little bit, and after about like a minute or so, you really do look like your mother.
You see Rifter's expression is very embarrassed. He's like, thank you. I think.
It is a compliment. I'm sorry. I'm going to be making odd comments about how things look.
Alright.
I understand the circumstances.
As
Doesn't
everyone gets out of the pool, Schoonhoff, you get a little link, because Lork essentially asks, do we have to?
Aw.
We'll come back one day.
Slork's
Let Slork live here.
Slork's ear bubbles a little bit. The cat bubbles back, stands up, and looks kind of to the center of mass of all of you party goers, and just and leaps into the pond. And as it makes contact with it, the color of everything changes and returns to that sense of normalcy.
Awesome.
It is now once again just a small, shallow little piece of floodland, as just a little puddle on top of a rock.
Just to double check, the vial in the water is still the deep blue color.
It is. It is not simply just clear. It is a slightly darker color.
Good.
Well,
Slork goes ooh, ooh, and kind of rolls off because the water underneath him bubbles a little bit, and so he just rolls to quickly get off it.
Well, let's be off.
Hi.
On to much more unpleasant territories.
This was a nice reprieve.
And he turns off and starts leading the way out.
As you make your way out of the oasis, the path out is even more beautiful than the way in, as the plants around all seem to take a thriving to it much because of that. None of them infested by insects or having birds laying nests there. It's just simply water and tree and growth and nice harmony. As you escape, the day is about a little over halfway done. You could make journey if you wanted to today, but for now it's still nice, and it's something to try to hold on to for a time, especially knowing that it's going to get much worse.
Guys, be scared. The DM is being nice to us.
the biggest fight. Of
Hey,
all
if you
time
want to
is what
blame
that-
anybody for this, blame Richter for rolling that on the D100 random table.
Guys, I found a loose drop. Let's go.
Very good thematic time for it.
Yeah.
True.
All right. We'll have to head, I think, southeast from here.
Do we want same plan as last time, or I guess? Wait, are we out of the jungle, or we're still in the jungle?
You're like technically still in the jungle, but you're like almost out of it.
Oh, okay.
Whoops, sorry.
I can go ahead and set up a psychic link, should we? walk that again.
Rifter nods.
Alright. For 3 hours. Big pog.
Babe.
The journey is made just a touch farther, and you set up camp for the night. It's a gentle forest with a few noticeably owls making a tremendous amount of noise tonight, with plenty of hoos and hollers. But otherwise, it's a normal camp setup like any other night.
All right.
Anybody
looked
have
up-
anything they'd like to do?
Yes, actually, one quick little thing. I've looked up at the night sky so many times over the years. Darius,
Hmm?
would you mind telling me what you see with fresh eyes?
He
I'd like to
looked
hear it from you.
up. Well, I see the hundreds of stars up there. I see... I don't know. The future, the gods, something. Anytime I looked at the sky, I either saw nothing or... just... I'm not sure. But... I guess the best way for me to describe it is just beauty. Whatever it is up there, whatever it is that we see, it's beauty.
A fair answer if I've ever heard one. I think you'll make a fine god, Darius. Just so long as you remember the world around you. Don't lose sight of why you're pursuing this in the first place.
Indeed. Completely out of character. I just realized I'm looking at the continent now. It looks
Mhm.
like a dragon head.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute.
In
Dragon head.
memes.
Wow.
God damn it, Hector.
Hector!
Well,
Well-
it's okay. It's okay. The coastline's inaccurate, so
We've done it. We found the dungeon and the dragon.
so true. The continent was the dungeon and the dragon.
You
Jake
see,
Sailed
it's
is
the
like-
weird.
dragon with the continent. along
You
the
see,
way.
it's weird. Most of the time, the dragon's in the dungeon, but instead, the dungeon's in the dragon.
So true.
But now the name makes more sense. Dungeons
So
in Dragon.
Ooh.
JC's just like, good job, boys. We just hear ending music. Wait, what's going on?
Why do I hear boss music?
They figured it
imagine
out.
The continent would be named like Dragon Skull in some off language that makes it sound like Varanska or something. All right.
Nobody
good to
tell
go
him.
I am.
Good to go.
Mhm.
Perun probably means Dragon Skull or something.
Well, I know that according to Magic the Gathering, Niv-Mizzet is one of the Parans of the guilds. Those being the founders, but I don't know the etymology of that. And he himself is a dragon, so... Anyway, enough sidetracking.
And stop. Give me another unmodifiable D100 roll.
D100 roll. Okay. I feel like
Who
I rolled
wants
the
to do
last
it?
few, but I do want to do it if nobody else wants to.
I can do it.
Yeah, I think we should get some new blood.
Yeah.
Golden, what the fuck?
Sorry. Had to.
I appreciate this, Golden. I'm glad that I did this before Mogus took off.
You think that?
Oh,
It's Among Us!
It's a bugger.
Condon is Among Us!
Oh.
It was perfect down to the last detail.
We were so close to perfection.
So close to greatness.
I mean, it's okay, guys. The coastlines aren't accurate.
Wait, hold on. Let me just.
Boom, 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 boom.
Behold, Amogus.
I got a something for you.
Yes, very stylish, very classy. I mean, it is the Volstrom territories, and the Volstroms are dicks.
Mm-hmm.
oh, he's
Oh,
been playing
no.
the long game.
It's all coming together.
It's all what
So
together?
I hate this group.
E70.
70.
B-17 bomber.
All right. Somewhat
That's actually-
fittingly, as being just about a week after Darius has finally regained his sight, as you're settling down for camp one night and just admiring a little bit of the sky, you see a comet blaze across it.
Oh.
Is it?
You know you're supposed to wish on those. But don't say you wish or else it won't come true.
Mine never do.
Does anybody want to DM me their wish?
Sure.
Sure. I guess I will.
I mean, if you make, let me rephrase. If your character wishes upon a star, DM it me, regardless of if you want to or not.
Lork brings up when Darius brings up the wishing.
And when Rifter says it, well, I know that mystically they don't tend to come true, but when you make manifest what you want, Rifter, I think you can do anything.
Look, I'm not wishing on a star because I want to do work. I'm wishing on a star for the exact opposite reason.
Think of it as a symbolism. If you're willing to wish upon a star, you know that it's something you truly want.
I mean, I guess, but I would just prefer for it to happen.
Alright, suit yourself.
Look, wishes are for, those who truly believe in these things. I've never seen a wish come true. I'm on the side of Rifter.
Listen, you could just wish for 1,000,000 gold, and if it doesn't come, then it doesn't come. And if
It doesn't
does,
what?
then it does.
I hate this fucking game so much.
It's nothing lost. But it's gone now, so you just lost your chance at 1,000,000 gold.
Look, I saw it. If I looked at it.
Listen, Zeus, it's a 50-50 shot. It's an average of 500,000 gold because there's two options. You either get the gold or you don't.
You are saying it's a 50-50 shot.
Yes, there's two options. You either get the gold or you don't.
I'm not. I don't think that's how probability works. We could always ask Jake.
He doesn't know anything about this. Don't talk to him about it.
You're just worried he'd prove you wrong.
No, please don't tell him I said that. He hates it. What? Don't worry about it.
Alright. I'll just wait until you can't stop me.
No. I can make you forget about it. I'll take it out of your mind when you sleep.
Alright.
Consider it an extra little motivation.
Zeus goes to sleep that night thinking about his wish.
How's this Lork?
Slunk.
Right now, Lork doesn't have a wish, mister.
Yeah, I'm typing.
How about you hit enter?
Yeah, I'm typing.
Does Floric wish upon a star?
Ooh.
Golden, does Lork wish upon a star?
Yes. But I will not impose my will on his wish.
Ooh, okay. I
Base.
remember it was.
Hey, it's a 50-50 shot at
It's
drywall. I
probably,
heard.
yeah, I was about to say, it's probably some shit about drywall. If,
I mean,
if
I
we're
would
being
assume that
funny
he
about it.
wants to go back and play with his friends. If
Yeah.
I have a shallow mindset into the infinite intellect of Sloric.
I mean, how can one truly understand a god?
I'm a
grand
god.
and
How can you kill a
intoxicating
god? Now I'm just picturing fucking Dagoth Earth posing his Lork.
As
Truly
everyone wakes up, there's obviously a little bit of glee going about as a result of these last few days being fairly nice. A lot less than you would expect for the border between the Savage Kingdoms and the Wilderlands, but perhaps part of it is just getting away from a lot of the man-made savagery helps clear some things up. But it grows a lot more bitter as, of course, it's all fleeting. Give me one last roll.
Do we have the rough date?
It's probably been about like 5 weeks since you left Dugon, like 24 days or so.
So Vignarkiar has
It's
come and
starting
gone,
to-
probably.
It's starting to get pretty, I won't say deep in the winter because, you know, at this area it's very temperate either way, so it's not like it's getting cold. But
Fucking
it
Florida.
feels
Damn it.
it feels very normal, which is to say that for here it's the depth of winter.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I literally made my home Florida.
Damn, you're home to Florida and you're dating an alligator. How does it feel?
I mean, I'm not even playing D&D at this point. That's just my life.
Gator boy.
Yeah, boy.
So let's see some new blood in here. Roll a d20 or a d100. Excuse me.
Yeah, roll a d20. What could go wrong?
All right.
Oh, we're saying in the 70s.
We're staying in the 70s.
That was a good decade.
1997.
I mean, depends on
my
who you
favorite
were.
year.
I mean, it was a reasonable decade.
It was one of the decades of all time.
It was one of the
Certainly
decades.
a
of all time.
decade.
It certainly was a decade. Let's see, Lork, would you mind rolling me 2d6?
Oh no.
10's a nice number.
10 is a nice number.
Depends on who you are.
That is all.
What did you do to me?
You're the president of the poop club.
This time it's
Intense
10
fear.
Dude, this is a similar feeling to when the DM starts rolling a bunch of d6s behind their screen. Like,
Yes, that's so true. All right, I'll cut the suspense. As you're moving along the road that day, you find a small, what was probably at one point trade caravan. Since abandoned, much of the food has been eaten by some of the wildlife. But one area that has not been hit up is a few small compact crates, measuring in total of probably about a square foot of proper packing of rare spices and cloths.
Darius pogs out minorly and stuffs it into his large bag of holding.
Knowing that you are on the outskirts of this city, it's not particularly surprising.
Yeah. Well,
If
What
this
about-
is it, I suppose you want me to take that back.
sorry, what? Out of character?
Lork was saying if this is it, what we're coming up to, he supposes you would want him to take that back.
If this is it, literally everything that I own is yours.
All right.
You will, and that is including the company. You will then have the burden to run a blossoming trade company. I'm imposing the burden upon you.
I suppose I can try to deal with that on top of my other responsibilities.
This is my way of forcing you to retire.
I don't know if the order would take too kindly to that.
I don't care. I'm a god.
Who's got you there?
We'll see.
Well, I really don't want to be back here, but takes a deep breath and starts moving in.
You have us.
He nods.
Since about a week after the jungle, the party has been seeing fewer and fewer bits of heavy vegetation. Most of the area here is gentle shrublands with rolling grasses all the way across. Occasionally, some more sandstony jettisons break the monotony. Where it does, it's often red or yellow. At this point, as you get to the area around where the Great Lake is, you come across Shripomn Duster, the throat of the world. Oh wait, fuck! Isn't that the thing from Skyrim?
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
Skyrim moment.
The throat of
The throat goat.
definitely not. Either way, the neck between, the small, only really piece of fertile and easily suitable land from between here and the desert to the north is in the little pocket of the lake. In the city being at the throat of that makes it a very important city. Not to say that it's a paradise or anything by being there and fertile. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's drawn quite a lot of problems over the years, especially given its company that chooses to inhabit it. But all the better reason for a risky place to be for them. It's a city known very well for a drastic amount of exports and imports, namely exports being often ill-begotten goods from the absolute abundance of the nearby area, often slave camps or plantations being used to grow anything from the cloths for fabrics to the various different forms of delicious spices or foods. And the city at the heart of it all, going out to the rest of the world, is in front of you. Its almost golden walls shining in the mid-morning sun, giving their sandstone hue out onto the party, seemingly just as pristine as the day you left it.
He's just standing there staring at the wall.
You ready for this?
I don't think I'll ever be ready for it. But that doesn't change whether or not we're going, does it?
Suppose it doesn't. But I guess if you've accepted it, then you're ready.
Yes, as ready as I can be.
Aye.
If there are still UNT here, please just keep your head down. Try not to. I'm sorry, you know how to handle yourselves. This is one of the only times I feel like I'm actually afraid of something.
It's alright.
Mate, it's okay.
I understand.
We're gonna stick to the plan we always stick to. Let Darius do the talking.
I don't know if that's a good idea here. I don't know if I can do that here.
Oh, well, in that case, we got the big one.
Okay, let's go.
Aye. Rifter's gonna go ahead and I don't know if there's any sort of entrance we need to go to, but he's gonna look for it to go into it.
There's
Darius would
a
be
large
leading us to the main gate.
Yeah, there are multiple large gates.
All right.
One of
Big
which
gate.
is the one on this side, in fact. Crazy how that works out.
Weldon.
As you approach, normally you would expect there to be, you know, either people moving about in their busy lives or perhaps just, like, you know, cast guards sitting there making sure that if something were to go wrong, the people in charge could be alerted to it. But instead, it is, of course, as seems to be the case very lately, completely barren. Of note, this screen is not bugged. This is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
The inside of the town, village, city, all of the buildings, each filled with a variety of different things, from personal instrumentations to different elements of furniture, everything exactly like you would imagine a minimalist or functional city to have. Just perfectly left exactly as it is, with not a single person anywhere to be found. That is until you open one particular door and see a rotting corpse of someone chained to one of the walls.
Oh.
They were
surely.
in such a rush wherever it is that everyone went, that not only was everything left of all of their material goods, but all of their personnel goods left behind as well. Something that is often unheard of in Yuan Ti culture. Exploration of nearby buildings reveals more of the same.
Zeus is going to keep his eyes up just to watch the party's back.
The eerie emptiness of the city becomes more and more unnerving as you head deeper into it. Not only do the walls of the city buildings of each structure get a little bit taller, but the increasing distance between here and the outside leads to almost a, not deafening, but an ever more eerie echo as it ricochets in unpredictable ways through the geometric city. One part which might carve around on one section might go completely off another way. So one step there's no echo, and the next it sounds like there's a footstep coming from the north, which upon investigation reveals nothing there.
It's not normally something you hear, but I think this is normal. I don't remember a whole lot of my time here, but we should keep going.
All right.
over more unsettling moments such as those, eventually, the core of the city starts to be in reach. It's a smaller red enclosure with additional gates, which would have been a little bit difficult to get into without flying if it weren't for the fact that one of the gates was left completely open, not just simply ajar, but fully propped open.
Wow. That's odd.
Indeed,
Wow.
indeed.
Left too much of a hurry to even close the gate. Are we in the district where there would be temples yet, or is that further in?
That is literally in the area in front of you. That is in the core of the city. There are two primary things that happen in the core of the city. That being religion, ascensions, those sorts of things. Where most of the temples and sacrifices are, and the corresponding part for what half of the sacrifices are in the first place, which is the primary slave trade. Both of them take place in the heart of the city.
Okay. We're about to cross into the worst place in this place.
Alright.
As you make your way in, sorry, you first.
No, he would have trailed off. It was
Okay. As you make your way into the red district of the city, much of the lower area is simply dedicated to more minor bits of worship, small temples, individual ways of different places to make an offering for a specific outcome, a way to sacrifice this person for that kind of thing, or make these sorts of fulfillments in a home to gain personal vengeance against a rival or other such activities. But at the core center, up a staircase of bright red, perhaps just simple red sandstone, or perhaps stained over the course of countless centuries, you reach the upper district, where the head temples and the main trading quarter stand. It is here at the very center of the city, at which there is a ever-flowing fountain spilling forth for all to have, and it is here that you see that the fountain is cracked with two gentle leaks flowing out of it into the nearby stone, somewhat evaporating at a good distance away from its very gentle flow in this somewhat brisk winter air.
Mate, I might be new here, but this don't look normal to me.
It's not. It's in disrepair. I don't know how long this has been empty. I feel like the first signal, the first sense I got of it was when I thought of home, touching the clay mirror or whatever it was that Zayron used to get around. I looked here and I saw nothing. I thought it was just my mind, but it might be even that far back that they've been gone.
Stay on our guard. Zeus, keep eyes up.
Of course.
Alright.
Eyes are peeled.
I'm gonna slowly approach. Can I do an investigation check to see what might have caused the disrepair? If it's literally just age, or if something broke it?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a. I'd say just make it a raw intelligence.
Raw int. Okay, well, that's.
I'm sure
unfortunate.
Rift is great at those.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Yeah, it literally just seems to be that, like, it's not even that it's that much in disrepair. It's just that as it overflows a little bit, it flows into two particular cracks that are near the very top of the well, and those cracks just happen to be where those two spots start to flow out. The top of the water has a very gentle slime on top of it, a little bit of a foam of different mildew or other things, as it has been stagnant for quite a long time.
I see. Okay, so it looks like I and Rifter, being betting men, we're going to bet on age. In which case, Rifter's just gonna walk across and follow his two lizard boys.
Are your limbs are lominzards?
My lizards. Hey, ladies. This is my this is Rifter's pep talk. He's like, oh, dude, I'm moderately intelligent. I get 13s on those.
Nice.
So true.
He takes a deep breath before he approaches the door.
Would you mind making me a dexterity saving throw real quick?
Mm-hmm. Just me or everyone
Just you.
near me? Okay.
But my eyes are peeled.
On range, he doesn't like you as much.
I have to remove my... Is it magical or no?
It is not.
Okay. 15.
As you get close to the door and just about enter, the rest of you are able to see it. Darius isn't able to see it too well, as he kind of is the subject of a lot of it. But a fairly haggard man, looking to be a very out of shape minotaur, breaks through the side of it and has a rusty nail put to Darius's neck as he's sort of holding him in the other arm. It's not very forceful. Darius could probably pull away from it if he so chooses, and he's just pleading to the rest of everyone that if you want him to not get stabbed all the way through the throat, you're gonna unlock the chains behind him.
Oh,
Grace is
of
just
course.
staying silent. He's just watching.
Rifter, would you mind?
What's his name?
Rifter nods and he just has his hands up and he says, "Easy, buddy. We're just gonna do this nice and slow." And he's gonna get his thieves' tools out, and every move he makes is incredibly deliberate, very slow, very calm. And he's just gonna go ahead and get to the chains. These ones. I'm
These
gonna guess?
ones here, and they're
Okay.
his leg is still chained to one of them.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and thieves' tools this.
He goes as you get close to him. He pulls away a bit and indicates to do one like 4 chains away from his leg, just keeping your distance.
Okay. And I'm gonna easy do it. Where is my thieves' tools? There they are. 29.
He looks around at the rest of you after about only 40 seconds. It's a very simple type of lock and chain. They are not particularly sturdy chains. You're able to do it very deftly. He points over to Lorik. Drop some of your food and toss it over.
Lork was already getting into his bag to pull some of the food out.
He's haggardly breathing.
Do you require some healing?
He doesn't say anything. He just presses the needle a little bit closer to Darius's throat. It pushes on the skin just a touch.
Darius isn't gonna say anything, but his hands. I'm assuming he's touching Darius. Obviously, he is going to use some lay on hands points on him while he is in the grab.
Roll me a stealth.
Sure.
Lork is
Hey, that's pretty good.
he is both taking the food out and sending it over. Would you like some water too? We have some of that.
Eventually, his guard's starting to break down, and he's starting to actually be willing to talk to you a little bit about it. And he's like, why are you here? This better not be another one of those dreams.
We had been hoping to discover some information here.
And what about him? Why?
Hey, he's with us.
No. You gotta be better than no.
We
No,
have-
no, no, no.
Measures have been taken to break him from the magics that bind him as a Yuan-Ti. Look, don't trust him. Trust myself as a paladin who is extremely resistant to that sort of magics.
He's continuing to back up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't happen. There. And he's breathing deeply as he's almost staggering backwards while he's dragging Darius. He's not very sure-footed about it. Doing the whole, they're fucking monsters.
Hey, listen, we can talk about this, right?
Nobody would agree with you more than the man you're holding right now.
Darius, you get pushed away as he starts to try to make a run for it as he darts through the door.
You don't want to go that way. It's not.
Does anybody
that's
take
first
any
he says.
physical actions?
I will
Look,
not.
Jake has hold person.
Oh, all right.
Easy.
All right. Go ahead and make. Oh wait, never mind. I make it. It's not gonna be very likely. Yeah, no, that's nat one.
Lol.
Oh.
He trips and falls onto the ground, and he starts cursing. He reaches down to his knee and tries to yank the chain off of his leg that had been chained, and
Lork's
obviously
going to,
does not happen because there's no chain there. But he still tries pulling away the chain there anyway.
Lork's going to set him to the side, dust him off a bit. Apologies. We've been in one of these before, and if anything is still alive in there, it would be the death of you. I can give you food, water, and directions to the nearest settlement. But if you try to escape deeper into the temple, I can't promise we'll be able to protect you.
He just starts crying and something about the whole, oh my god, you're actually real.
Sorry, you go.
I'm so sorry for what they've done to you. I can't imagine. But I can offer at least some help.
Hold on. What's your save right now?
19. Lork's going to let the hold person drop as soon as it looks as though he's not going to immediately bolt off.
He wretchedly just leaps forward just a little bit and very desperately is just clambering onto your leg, just at the floor crying.
It's alright.
The party, I assume, takes adequate preparation over the next hour, making things right, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty empathetic people.
After,
Darius is going to stay out of it as much as possible because
Nice.
he knows that anything that he does or says will not contribute positively at all.
Despite the person, this Minotaur being extremely thin and practically small, this is the story that unfolds as you coax them into it, making sure that they're both healed up at least a little bit, giving them food, water that's fresh. You learn that since they were apparently a very strong Minotaur, they got put near the front on that longer leash so that they could be paraded around to more people and demonstrated in more thorough capability. And when they all got up and left, that gave him just enough to be able to drink some of the moldy water from the leaking well in the center, and also, unfortunately, some of the corpses nearby, with the exception of 2 that are somewhat nearby him that are in perfectly pristine condition. It is a very unfortunate situation to be in.
God, I am so sorry.
The thing that he laments on most is not the pain of it being there, but that he still doesn't know where his daughter is, because she was taken at the same time. Which, unfortunately, is one of those things that, with months having gone by, it's something that he's almost given up on, but still something that he says offhanded.
Darius is going to say one thing when he mentions that. He's going to say, "Did you see them take her further into the temple?"
You get the sense that they were separated long before he got here.
Okay.
They he got taken from a raid. Like there's a Minotaur encampment area where they tend to like graze and set up a few settlements along more like the border to the desert, along that sort of range. And they were taken from that, and he hasn't seen anyone from his family since then. He just hopes that somehow they escaped and that they're alive.
From what we've heard, Yuan-Ti have disappeared from the region in recent times. If anyone else might have survived some of this, they may have ended up going to Dugan if they made their way to civilization. Here, Darius, you still have any of the scripts that we have?
He nods and he hands however many Lorik requests.
I doubt we're going back to Dugan anytime soon, so you might as well just give the full pack.
He nods.
I can give you some rations to tide you over for the travel, but if you head to Dugan Harbor in the west, you may be able to find some more information there. Maybe some of these scripts will help you find information about your daughter.
While he accepts that, he's sort of looking past you for a good half of that explanation, just towards Darius, and has much of what you'd expect with an accusatory, like, what makes him different.
Complicated story, that. Let's just say he's built different.
Powerful divine magics at work to undo much.
Did you feel the call?
Nothing. I didn't even know that they'd gone.
He recounts how back when this room was, all of the other corpses in this room were still alive, how they had all just suddenly, just hundreds and hundreds of them started flooding into the room, and over the course of the next month or so, it continued to stay that way, where every once in a while there would be a few new batches, no one looking at anyone nearby, no one attempting to scavenge anything, just going straight to the center of this room, right there, and interacting with some of the chains and going down the staircase. Just like at some point it started to blend together, but it must have been thousands of them.
Gods above. We intend to potentially head down there and find out what happened. If something has happened down there, I don't think it will be safe for you to be in this temple. I would recommend heading out to at least an outer section of the city and seeking shelter.
Why are you doing this for me?
You needed help. And I'm sure that if our fates had been reversed and you were traveling here for answers and found one of us chained up, you would have done the same.
After a few minutes of sobbing at the realization and contemplating if that were true and if he deserves it, you eventually get to the point where he starts to try to move off to, like, he tells you where he'll be and that he'll wait the night, but if it's any longer than that, he's leaving on his own.
Alright. In that case, I'll leave you with a week of rations and a couple water skins for now. And if we manage to make it out, I'll bring more to you.
He tries to catch your name and your name alone before he leaves and thanks you for it, like, tremendously.
Lorik.
And makes his way out unless somebody stops him.
Well, right as he gets to the door, Darius is going to say, I know you have no reason to trust anything that I say, but if you head about a week northwest, you will find a jungle. In that jungle, there will be a pool. If you make an offering of food, you'll be able to recover some of your strength.
He's stopped at the entrance of the building. He's looking at you while you say it and just turns his head away and moves through the door. The party has their own actions in this room of corpses, which is also surprisingly bereft of flies or anything like that. All of the dead here are simply dead. They aren't rotting, they're not decaying, they're not spilling into being guts, they're not losing their skin, their eyes aren't rolling out, everything is just dead with the exceptions of the bits that were partially eaten.
I don't have anything I can do for them. Anyone have a dedication they'd like to make?
I guess it's appropriate. I'm not gonna try to do whistling because I can't, but
Okay,
Rifter
Peppa.
in Orin is gonna go ahead and say a few words. And he translates in the common. He says something my mom used to say: "In death, they can't shackle you."
Fortunately, that is the case here. Although I don't know if the people that were further in have that mercy.
There's only one way to find out. Are we all ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Alright. I don't know what's going to be beyond there, but be careful, everyone. Please. Lorik motions for Darius to do the honors.
He's going to take the action to move down. He's going to take the interact action.
Eventually you have
Presses
to,
E.
with what you doing?
Following where the UNT went, interacting with the chain and heading down the stairs.
Yeah. Eventually you figure out how to do a few setups on the on the chains to the side, giving him a few yanks, twisting it somewhere. There's a few distinct locks as you go about doing so, and the ground eventually gives way. Give me just a second. Sorry. Alright. The ground eventually gives way. Schönhoff, where you're standing, the ground beneath you starts to move. And you are a little off balance for a moment before you pull yourself back. And the ground beneath you is set very much in a staircase.
Oh.
Nut.
Quite interesting of them to make the descent that they all went down on top of this like slave demonstration platform, but hey.
How dark is it going down?
Only mildly. There's active blue flames along the entirety of the walls as you start to head down. Very thin, they don't burn as you try to light something on it. They simply emanate very simple light.
Do we want a certain order going down? I can turn invisible, go ahead. If that would be safest.
It's not. If there's anything to worry about down there, that won't change anything.
Alright. Lead the way then, if you're just feeling alright.
Yes. As he heads down.
We're following the leader.
He's following the leader. The stairway goes down quite a distance, and the air starts to change from that rather dry, but at least right there a little bit manageable given the nearby fountain, to one where it is exceptionally humid and damp, but still rather warm despite being underground. The flames burn with all the same flicker.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
God damn.
Y'all better forget about that. I set up the walls.
God
Yeah.
damn.
These fuckers didn't set the lighting on. They undid it.
Lighting moment.
That's okay, I've ready
Yeah.
for gore.
That's what I get for not pressing Control L to make sure. Oh no, it's bugged. This isn't a map where we can let that happen.
Uh-oh, stinky.
JC out here taking L's.
Alright, a rudimentary test says that that's only the it's alright. It's doing the thing where there's a big slice going in the top right corner because Roll20 is as reliable as a shack of bricks as it flying. I'm going to try a few settings. We're gonna take an intermission real quick.
Okay.
Hey, we're back. Anyway, apparently, if you shrink a dynamic lighting object on roll 20, that causes it to shoot up a invisible wall to the top left of the corner from every single point of that object. So if you have a hexagon that you shrink down a little bit, that creates 6 walls to the top left corner. Neat.
All
Weird.
according to plan.
So anywhere you see one of those little pillars, pretend there's line of sight. And that you
Alright.
can't see to the other side of it. Or between them or whatever. Because I don't want you to have a miserable experience doing so. But are we ready to continue?
Yes.
Alright, the suspenseful music resumes. As you make your way down, the walls grow ever darker, ever browner, and ever redder. The walls seeming to grow ever closer and closer to the consistency of, or the color of a consistent crimson blood. The flames flickering blue, giving a nice contrast to it, but one not very pleasant nonetheless. You have made your way to the bottom. Proceed as you will.
Darius, do you want to take point or should I?
I'll take points.
Alright.
These temples are... I'll just say I know my way around them, as much as I hate to admit it.
Alright.
He's just gonna hold his hand up and not say a word.
As you turn the corner and you look onto this snakely figure, and you see the 6 heads protruding from its torso, each of them giving a gentle smile, looking at you, almost giving a bit of a bow and moving it out of the way, and gesturing you the other direction.
He shivers a little bit.
Would you mind going ahead and rolling me a religion check real quick?
Yeah, I think I as a player am aware, but I will still roll a religion.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. What makes it even more frightening than just the simple act of it existing is the sheer role reversal that's going on. That
Yeah.
is a perfect anathema, acting in the role of a servant to you.
He like hyperventilates for a moment and then just takes a deep breath. He's just be careful, he says, looking back at everybody as he takes a step forward and follows in suit of what it says.
It gestures to the south. Sorry, I'll just place it right here. It's up here, it's blocking it on both sides of the pillar, but the pillar is broken, so...
I see.
All of the walls are adorned with various bits of history and prophecy and predictions of the future and laments about the past. Stuff that feels a little more esoteric than you might expect, but of course it doesn't give anything about morality or anything like that. It's more so simple lessons not to be repeated or intents to be had for the future.
Is this page a little laggy for other people, or is it just me?
Yeah.
It's a little laggy for me, yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I will attempt to delete any of the other pillars that I can, because my guess would be that that's causing a lot of them.
Yeah, quite possibly. Tragic.
You hate to see it.
So true.
I noticed the dynamic lighting where you've been tends to be a lag source.
Okay, I will turn that off if y'all think it will be better to play without that. I did that as a hot fix to try to handle the fact that like there was a lot of walls, and if we're doing that, we can turn that off, and we will.
I'm just not sure.
That
That
any
is
better?
100%.
Okay, yeah, that
100%
instantly
what
fixed
the cause
it.
was.
God damn it,
I
roll
love
20.
that for us.
Yeah, and you know what? As it turns out, just being like, oh hey, just light up things a little bit based on where you were. Maybe it keeps track of every spot you've been in, does it that way rather than just saying, have you seen this spot or not? Anyway, making it through into this room, the floor is a series of ornate marble work, very much not native to the area. Each of them having different channels freshly cleaned in them. There are each of these channels funnels through into a singular point, which coalesces into a small bowl. Anyone with a creative enough mind can probably figure out the intent of such channels.
I'm pretty sure Darius has explicitly described nearly this exact scene before.
Gross.
They get out of your way. For everyone else, anybody who chooses to take a look at these creatures ends up catching what can only be described as a gleefully wicked smile 6 times upon each of their faces.
I'm assuming they're gesturing this way.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are like the things we faced in the other temple, aren't they?
It's different, Lorek. Those were incomplete, both harmed physically and transformatively. They were a mockery of what those are. That is the sign of the absolute corruption of the UNT gods. The ultimate form, the closest you can get to becoming a god yourself while still being immortal as a UNT.
So why do you think they're being so... that?
Well, I can think of 2 reasons, but I'm not going to speculate on which of the 2 it is.
Alright.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
It's rare to even see one of these in your lifetime.
And here we've seen at least 5.
Well, count me lucky.
Hmm. We'll be lucky if we make it out of this alive.
Darius, would you mind giving me a history right now?
You got it. Prage for non-Darius luck. It's all building up for this moment.
It's all been building up for
Nope,
now.
never mind. It wasn't
How
building
many
up.
years have I waited for this moment?
It's okay. You can roll it again.
Advantage, huge, because it's my specialty. It's my home.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Now
it
he
won't
nat
matter.
ones.
Oh!
Let's go.
All right, pretty sizable.
He had advanced advantage.
He had advanced advantage,
What's
which is he rolled a 120. As you're about to turn the corner, and remembering how it is upstairs, reading a little bit in the Draconic script off to the side, this room has a little bit of stuff that catches your eye. Some of the scripts on the wall are, in particular, a little bit interesting. There's no one guarding it over there. Describing it as safe to search would perhaps be an overstatement, but it draws important attention.
look over. He was about to turn. He catches his eye back over. Watch my back. He says very faintly in as close to a the best fucking dragonborn draconic he's ever spoken in his life. He says, "Watch my back," trying to keep it as far away from the Yuan-Ti tongue as possible.
Lord nods.
Normally, these kinds of catacombs / ritual sacrifice chambers are only allowed for the upper elite of the hierarchy. This is where many prophecies are stored. When there's parts of it that are disseminated into the public, they're often either watered down versions of the ones here or ones that are no longer useful to keep private. One of them here is about the deathless dead, which is the one that has caught your eye given the situation above.
All right.
Would you mind going ahead and giving me a religion as you go through and peruse it?
You got it.
Will anyone be helping you?
I guess Lord could try to help.
He will, use his finger to motion him over. Just help me go over these texts. I know you might not speak this perfectly, but just in
But I
case.
can at least decipher the script. One more. Because of health.
Ah, I see.
Nutty.
As it is apparently a recurring theme in Yuan-Ti prophecies, there's a lot of parts about self-recursion involved in it, like when the dead don't die, or in this case as the follow-up, like after the dead don't die. Hold on. Let me just actually pull it up. When the shadows are no longer dark, the many can become one, so that one may be many. The dead can no longer die, and the night can no longer sleep. Is essentially the best parts that you're able to get out of it into common for the rest of everyone.
Could I get a text of that?
No.
No, okay.
I see. It's one of those things where the spelling would probably give it away.
I have taken it more so that it is one that I need to pull up, and I will get it to you in just a moment.
Ah, I see.
I see.
But this is all that I can get in common, is what you're saying,
Right.
to translate to other people. But
There's
I
more of it
myself
that I can
understand.
give you with those roles. As you ask questions about it, I can tell you if it does or does not fit.
Okay. So the
The four core parts are when the shadows are no longer dark, one become many and many become one, right? There's the dead no longer die, and there's the night no longer sleeps.
okay.
So those I can go ahead and write out.
So does one and become many and many become one refer to the anathema process?
That could be a reasonable conclusion, not definitively,
Okay.
but that's an interpretation of it. It's not an invalid interpretation.
Okay. So I know it wouldn't be like absolutely that's not the case from
Right.
my understanding of it. It could be. It's basic fucking cryptic prophecy that doesn't necessarily have a 100% fucking
Definitive meaning. Yeah.
When the shadows become dark, do any of you understand anything about that?
Oh, I
tell you.
We've already seen the effects of when the dead don't die. I just out of character don't know where to go from here.
I mean, that's okay. That's
Yeah,
all it's supposed to be right now.
Okay.
You don't
In
need to
which
worry
case-
about needing to do anything.
He's thinking it over. That's all I can pull from it for now. As he makes his way back to the front.
As you turn the corner and see one that is gargantuan in size, it is no longer simply one that is content with a few heads. It is a swirling mass of thousands of snake heads all coiling together, forming a rather large body, often with arms at various different points, often perhaps resembling more of a centipede or a snake itself than an actual amalgamation of peoples. It stares intently at you with about half of its heads as you enter its view.
Gods above, what in the hell is that thing?
He doesn't respond. He just takes a few steps forward.
Hold, we don't know what that is.
You seem to be expecting us, he says in Yuan-Ti tongue.
Well, that all depends, doesn't it? I just wish we could have given you more of a party. Isn't that what you like out there? The voice is constantly changing every few words between which mouth is speaking it. I hope it's not too disappointing. Perhaps we could have had more for you. After all, perhaps this isn't the best way to welcome our savior.
And what do you mean by that?
Some of them smirk, some of them move over to another and chuckle. Some of them continue to maintain just direct eye contact with you. And a few of them start to speak up to actually give you words to your answer. I mean, you freed us from our burden and gave us room to finally pursue that dream of all of us. You took him and put him on a leash. Gave us room to breathe and thrive. Our savior.
So what now then?
Now, we're gonna ascend. And the specific usage of we, unlike in common, does not have any ambiguity. We is both them and you.
We, and he uses the same term exactly, are going to take them down. But that does not mean that we, and he uses the same term again, are going to ascend.
it takes a lot to keep some of them from smirking and snickering. It's fairly different having them be so emotion fueled, but the fact that all of the emotions are still that of spite and being very emotionally rejective does fit in character. We can see so much more now than we ever could. The sheer immense power at play here is one that you know you can't reject. And even if you can delude yourself into believing such a thing, that can change.
Many mortals of before have ascended on their own.
None to one
know.
so old.
And you all should know more than anything else, even as you're thrust upon each other attached. You still hate each other. You move together, and yet everything is for yourself. You're one, but you're not. And what makes you think it'll be any different if we ascend?
That's the part where you're wrong. They, some of their rear parts start to seem like they're standing up, but it's really just a series of arms, or in some cases even legs. Or, sorry, some pieces even heads of snakes working together in some form of twisted unison where they'll undergo a deal of suffering just to be able to push the mass forward. We're halfway there. That's why you're here, isn't it? You have that one thing that we need left. And we have one of the things that you need left if you're to save any of those others you have.
And so somehow we find it again to make it a transaction. Although I can't expect anything different from our kind. He does take a few steps forward.
Please, Darius, this was the one thing you were made for. Everything else, the fact that you made other parts of the prophecy come true, are simply joyous to hear.
What I was made for was to be a slave of Dendar.
None of them really snicker at that part, but a few of them go around to redirecting the question more so that perhaps others, perhaps your brood can, but not you. One made from a willing father. One made to inherit a soul. The last part we need is that heart of yours. Heart being non-literal heart. Spirit, soul, essence, resolve, rejections, those sorts of synonyms.
And if it's my spirit, my heart, my will that is what you need, then what guarantee is it that my will won't override your own if we do ascend?
Oh, well, that's quite the hope, isn't it? If not, then all this falls by the wayside. Another failed attempt, another clan to come in and swipe this up somewhere.
Then
But
what
you
is
already
it?
know that.
Then what is it you gain if you plan on me being still in control, still the power? It's always about gain.
Because it is no longer you or me. It would just be us. And the fact that you haven't ran away yet means that you know just as well as we do that there's truth to it.
He
Pause
changes
for a moment.
Yeah,
we're
okay.
gonna get everybody else's takes on the situation right now.
Yeah. I was going to say he switches to common for this to try and get people in.
Oh, okay. Then do that right now. Do that instead.
Yeah, he switches to common, and yet I made a promise to those around me that I would keep myself if I were to ascend, when I ascend.
Oh shit. We're talking about something very important.
I've only been able to get a couple words, but it's... I'm sorry, I just can't get over how repugnant that thing is.
It's a thing.
Because more than there's an us, as he like signals, like with his gesture, since there's not a good word for it in common, between the UNT and him. There is us as he gestures towards the people
Yeah,
behind him.
those are two different words. There's us, you and me, and there's us, them and me.
Mm-hmm.
They've mostly been using the us, you and me, even when referring to just themselves, like as if you've already bound with them.
Because their support, their will, and their strength is the only thing that allowed my will to blossom.
One of the heads slithers through the side, revealing just how treacherously long some of them can be, as it reaches out to be around like 8 feet long as it peers around the side of it, getting closer to you. You know that it doesn't have to stay, that it won't stay that way. That us and us would be the same if things continue to go this way. Do you as a player catch that?
Lork probably only catches a couple words and doesn't...
He's in common.
Oh, okay. I thought that the snake was still talking.
No. Yeah,
Oh,
the
I don't know if
snake's
the
the
snake
snake's still talking
Okay.
you on T. I'm asking Darius if you
Okay, no,
if
I
you
don't-
think
I
you
don't
understand what I
fully
mean
get
by
it.
that.
Just elaborate just in case.
Okay. It's a threat where it's like, well, there doesn't have to be a distinction between them and me if this keeps up. Basically saying they'll integrate the rest of them too.
He is going to take a step forward and look them dead in the eye. I have what you need. If you don't want to remain shackled for eternity, if you do not want to be erased from existence, he swaps to you on T for this one, then you will never threaten them.
We're gonna cut back for a moment because we kind of didn't actually get the rest of them talking when we switched to the common thing.
you're
So
right.
Lorik and everybody else, after Lorik says those lines about his rough translations of it,
Just got a bad feeling about this whole thing.
I mean, this is essentially us competing with their god, essentially, right?
From what I understand, that's not their god, that's them.
Hive mind?
I don't know the details. I'd rather not know the details.
Whatever the case, we're competing with the bigwig.
I suppose. But I think Darius has made it pretty clear that there isn't competition there.
I'm a betting man, and I bet on him.
Right. Oh, hush, I need to listen more.
No threat, no threat, please. There's no threat here. That emotion seems to have made you sensitive on the topic. No, we wouldn't dare to hurt them.
Your idea of hurt is very different from theirs or mine. We will work together to take down Nidhogg, because it is what is important. But what comes after that, what comes for Ascension, is my burden, not ours. Because if my will needed others, I would not be worthy of Ascension. I don't know what your prophecies showed you, but they're about to change. He's going to look back to his group. When this does go down, do remember that I made a certain someone promise to help us. And you may not like his presence, but as he's still talking to the group behind him, I think it'll be necessary, or at least helpful.
Hi.
Whatever it takes.
And he looks back to the anathema abomination.
It changes the subject a little bit. It asks you if you recall their conversation in the bathhouse.
So that was you then. Or all of you. Which one of you?
Oh, she's in here somewhere now. She tried to stay independent. Your mom's in here somewhere too. Father's off. Who knows where, so can't account for him. Many of your siblings, the ones who were strong enough to have survived, are in here too. But what you know
Wonderful.
of that story is that of the ancient weapon. Were you aware that this curse, this burden of ours, predates our existence on this plane?
He doesn't say anything, he just listens and perks up.
We are that weapon. Our rage to rebel against him. To become her. And the word obviously holds very, very tightly on the lips of them as they say it. Anathema.
And this is exactly why you're not capable of ascension. You try, and you make sacrifices, and you kill, and you destroy for your power. And it's always something from someone else. It's always borrowed, stolen. What makes you think that the power you use from another god will help you?
They smirk, they say, there is no other god. Not here. The very curse they bestowed upon us. They are their own undoing.
You truly think that something created in the image of the god can harm it?
Do you think yourself any different?
Not myself. But something created before then.
They simply let the words sit.
All
They
of this posture. Sorry.
They retreat backwards a little bit and say, "You've been informed. You'll either make the choice now or you'll make it later."
It's not much of a choice then, is it?
Do you seek consort with your others? Wish a bit of privacy away from a few dozen prying eyes?
I'd like many things, but what I will get might be different.
They seem to poof, disappear in a puff of poisonous fog, which then quickly coalesces and drips onto the ground.
Darius turns back. Let's go into the room, it'll be easier to talk there, as he gestures back down the hallway this way.
Alright.
That's not right. Music went a bit off the rails.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned that it just poof?
No, it's... Anathemas are incredibly strong creatures of magic. In psionics. But... regardless... I don't know how much you've caught of that, but what they want, as always selfishly, is to be a part of the Ascension. They want to merge with me and use my will as a way for Ascension.
And what do you think of that?
I think that it's not going to happen.
Good.
If it is my will that will carry them, then it is my will that will shirk them.
And you must form with that thing. Get with your ascension as well.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You were very quiet.
Sorry. Zeus is and you must you Lorik was kind of translating, you need them as well.
Yes, I do need their help. They have ways, apparently, to harm them through either the knowledge or some other method. Our weakness has always been our absolute certainty. Our confidence that we are never incorrect, that we always know the correct way forward. Their confidence that they will ascend with me will lead them to not take action to guarantee it more than they already have. They won't second guess themselves or wonder what my decision will be because they believe they already know it.
And what if they believe that your decision is that you won't ascend with them and they try to take it by force?
Then they will fall. I have all of you. I will have the strength of whatever comes after Dendar. He grabs the second necklace, not Lorik's necklace, the one that holds the last bit of his warlock power that he captured when he was transitioning off, and pulls it off of his neck. Whatever happens, I trust all of you will know what to do. We will. I will. Do this the right way. As he drops the necklace on the ground and stomps it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lorik nods approvingly.
They're just shocked.
I had to guess. They're probably still listening in. But nonetheless, their ego won't let them admit it. I am certain in my path forward, and I hold the same overconfidence and ego that they do. But what I have that they don't is all of you. All of you with your own individual judgments, your own emotions, your own understanding of things, of morality, of where to go. Your perspectives are what led me here. I believe that your perspectives will help me.
And we'll follow you. We will, I'll help you put an end to this chapter.
Thank you. Well, this will be it. This might be the end of it all. Is there anything anybody would like to do before we go? Say? Any spells or messages you want to send to anyone?
The one person I would want to send a message to is not available.
The rest of you? Rifter, do you want to send a message to your mother? We are about
Exactly
to face
what
down
I
a
was
god.
thinking, yeah.
Brunhoff, could I ask you to cast your sending spells?
I
Sure.
can do something without him having to waste the magic. Give me a moment.
He nods.
Lorik is going to
Yep.
use the secondary ability of Fortune of Temperance.
And Zeus, I don't know what kind of relationship you still have with your family, but if there's anyone left, this could very realistically be where everything ends. Because we either come out of here with the support of a new god, or we're all erased from history.
Well,
No pressure.
certainly know how to set the expectations low. I think I've left things on as good as I've said everything I need to say before I went off. But also, I don't think we'll need them. I'm going to decide to have hope in this situation. Because I
I'm
have
only
some
going to-
people
I'm
sorry.
only going to say one thing. Does your mother know what happened to Daya?
Zeus is going to, like, internally be like, I'm just realizing now I have not said anything to her. And he's going to shake his head out of it, and he's just going to, with determination in his eyes. And we've done everything we need to do. This will be something that he'll be able to tell her about what happened himself.
Aye.
He nods. It's a good attitude to take.
If anything, it'll only be safe to tell her once this is all done.
Plus, you wouldn't believe the fits our mother would get in. I would have to go in hiding just myself to make sure I don't meet a cruel fate.
I might have to join you. She knows my face.
Oh,
Well, I mean, good news. If she finds out, then the whole reason that she finds out is because we're dead.
I wouldn't put it past her that she might be able to find us in some obscure afterworld.
Oh no, you misunderstand. If we lose here, we don't get an afterworld.
I know.
This is why I want to make sure that you're all ready. Because I've forced upon you the fate, or the potential of the fate, that I had thrust upon me.
And I'm willing to walk this road with you.
Thank you all for coming this far with me.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
it's been a fun ride.
Zeus, if I can give you one piece of advice, be less
Yes.
like me, please. You'll be way happier.
I'll try my damnedest. Gives kind of a smirk back.
Plus, I don't want people mistaking you for me, especially not when I'm a god. That'd be awkward.
Believe you me, I wouldn't find the comparison flattering either.
Oh, who knows? Considering what you are, you might be able to take over my place in society. Nobody would have known anything happened.
I'd rather stake out my own claim.
I'm aware.
Forgetting someone.
I'm just thinking about what to say to you.
No,
I don't-
not me.
Hmm?
We paid Cassandra a potential one last time. Is it?
I mean, I don't think there's anything she could tell me that I don't already know at this point. What do you want to ask her?
It's not about asking, it's just seeing them one last time. Not for me, but for all of us. Just in case we don't make it.
I would like that, but I don't know how the whole situation would handle it. Even if time does move slower, it doesn't stop, as she said. We don't know what they would do here. They need me, but they don't necessarily need, They can take advantage of it for I don't want to give them the opportunity to take advantage of anything.
Decided.
Well then, if everybody's ready,
There's one last thing I'd like to do.
he looks over.
Lork quickly gives him a kiss and says,
Oh my
just
goodness.
Okay.
one last memory before we face down the end, potentially.
It was a good memory.
Upon seeing this, Rifter goes, Zeus,
Yes.
I always
My
hated
dear.
your guts.
He's going to, with the back of his hand, kind of just like trace along your cheek. I've always hated your guts.
Lork rolls his eyes.
Darius just sighs. Oh, just suck his dick already.
Slork rotates around, looks up at Schoonhoff, and then moves a few feet away.
There's a
Snubbed by the
lot
slime.
of heterosexual tendencies around this part.
Rifters, may I grab your blade just one last time?
I
You two
would
are
relish the
insufferable.
thought.
You know that if we get out of this, I'm becoming a god of dreams, right? I can haunt you every single day. You should be careful about how much you make fun of me right now.
I would
Darius,
be
you are... Sorry,
blunt.
Rifter, you go.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, you already haunt me every single day. What would be the difference?
Be careful who you make fun of in early education. You never know what might happen.
Can't say I've heard that one before.
Oh, early education's not even really a thing outside of the kingdoms most of the time.
You don't know that. Shut up, DM. You don't know your world.
That's a very good point. I don't. Would you like to tell me about the socioeconomic implications of like education in each of the three primary regions?
Oh, absolutely. So you see, first of all, they talk about how cool Rifter Tuxedo 2 is.
Right.
They're like, Mom, will I grow up to be like him? And the mom goes, no, there's no way you could be that
The
cool.
mom goes, no, you didn't grow up past the age of 30. I want you to live.
All right.
Anyway, this is supposed to be a dramatic moment.
But, Rifter does say, oh, you know, if you torment me, all that means is that you're thinking about me. And I love you too, buddy.
Well, let's go then.
Alright.
Let's do it.
He's going to make his way back into the room.
As soon
And
as you
Olivia.
turn at the door at the entranceway to it, there is already starting to form a portal which is circulating at a very high rate, surrounded in green. On the other side is pitch darkness.
You know, I heard there was one explorer. He had this catchphrase. I don't. Oh, that's right. That's what it was. Geronimo. As he jumps in, as he walks into the portal.
Kanya, watch over us.
Choop choop cheerio? I don't know.
Let's do this shit.
Step through the portal. Srinath's going to kneel down and pat Sloric.
Sloric approaches the portal and just and then rolls into it.
That's translated to "I hate this part."
So true,
Very
bestie.
true.
And with that, the session is over. The party
I
has
forgot.
died.
Oh,
Game's over.
Woo!
I love that for us.
To be to be more realistic to the party, I will say things do not quite go as planned. As you go on a rough and tumble through these multiversal / planar travel, things get rough. At some point, something goes wrong. A bit of severance in perhaps the Cure Anathema's magic, perhaps a bit of overconfidence, perhaps something involving the genie being there, or many other variety of things. But either way, when each of you wake up, you're in the midst of perfect darkness and find no one around you. We're going to have a series of 5 mini sessions.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
Starting now, right?
I wish. But unfortunately, it's exactly midnight.
Okay.
Midnight is for cowards.
Midnight is in a minute, dude.
So true.
Not for me.
Oh, midnight is an hour and a minute for me.
Yeah, see,
It's
he's
skill
got
issue.
Well, actually, it is in the middle of the night. It is midnight, so
Shut the fuck up, you nerd.
You see, here's the thing. I'm so big brained. I'm a minute ahead of you. I already know everything from a minute. So
See,
like,
now, joke's on you. When I said
now,
it's not
you
midnight,
see,
I
that's
meant
not.
that it's 11:05. I meant that it's 12:05.
Yeah, and I said it at exactly when it was 11:59:00 for you. And if you want to go back and look at the VOD, that's actually true.
What are you talking about? It's been past midnight for the past 5 minutes, dude.
Cool. Anyway, with that, we're gonna shut down the stream, and I'm glad that drama-filled thing went through with mostly low hitches, and except for the kind that were fun to play out. The temple walls ended up not being too much of a problem, and instead we had some good highs early on, and some good lows, some drama, some pizzazz, and some interesting inter-party choices to make. But as for how everybody makes their way forward here, it's going to be time to show some independence next time. And we'll see where that takes us.
So I feel like these 3 gifts that I posted in player chat are a pretty accurate summary of the session.
We'll see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Very true.
Very true. And with that, we head off. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adios.
Peace.